There are two types of medical questions: the basic or the background questions, and the advanced, the foreground questions. To answer a clinical question, consider the level and type of information needed to choose accordingly which type of medical question you're going to be tackling, and thus which databases are you going to be looking into. If you're looking for basic information on the descriptions, causes, symptoms, progression, treatment, outcomes, diagnostic tests, etc., or if you know a little about a topic, need foundation information, introduction, or general information, you'll be looking into the background question. What are the resources of background questions? Mainly book chapters or textbooks. Definitely you can find background information in the introduction of peer-reviewed journals. For example, it's the definition of a certain disease or the different diagnostic treatments of a certain condition are present in the introduction, but only in the introduction of a peer-reviewed paper. It's not going to be discussed all over. So the main resource of it is the textbook. Usually it answers the 5W questions. How? Where did this disease come from? Where was it transmitted from? What is the host of this disease? How is it transmitted? You're usually a novice researcher at this level, Med 1, Med 2 student, getting to know more about this information. When you move into an expert researcher, or your question is now more focused, you're now tackling a foreground question. You are familiar with the topic, with the tests, with the treatments, and you're trying to determine a new or alternative course of action and want to find answers based on evidence. So now, if I'm looking into Ebola virus in general, or coronavirus, let's say, it is a background question. But when I'm looking into corona in Lebanon, now it's a foreground question. I'll be combining at least two concepts in my topic together. The main sources of information for me to look up a foreground question are peer-reviewed journal articles. There are different sources of medical information: textbooks, journal articles, indexes and abstract, theses, reference work, free internet resources, and different databases and personal communication. For you to determine which type of database you'll be using, you have to know the type of medical question you are asking. So clinical key is an example of a background information. A foreground information would be tackled in PubMed, for example. Let's have a pop quiz. What type of question is pathophysiology of hypertension? 5 seconds. It's a background information. It's a background question. I'm looking into hypertension, into subheading of it, into how, into the 5W questions, pathophysiology of it. Another question: should children with eczema be treated with antibiotics? Now that's an EBM question. We have a PICO that can be built here. Children with eczema, antibiotics, no antibiotics, and better outcomes. So I'm tackling more than one concept at a time. I'm building a more finicky research question. I'm familiar with the treatments or with antibiotics, and I'm familiar with eczema, but I want to see if the treatment with antibiotics for the eczema children is of worth or not. Remember, searching is not always error-free. The success depends on the expertise of the researcher, the searcher's ability to define the topic precisely, how specific and accurate is the indexing, how to combine the different concepts together using the right Boolean operators, how much of detailed research you're doing or you're not doing. Remember, there's no single correct way to do every search. Each researcher does his or her search the way he sees it or she sees it right. But there are the basics that cannot go wrong, which is the combination of the concepts. Finally, a speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the topic, yet short enough to keep the interest. I hope I got your interest, and for further questions, I'll be meeting you in our live session on June 15th. Thank you.